it's not comfortable to drive, okay? It gives very much city bus, you know, like I'm driving the Greyhound. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Julia. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, hey, it's been a minute, right? And I'm sitting in the big body of all places. I feel like I ghosted y'all for a lot of last year and didn't update you guys when I hit 1 year of ownership on my Jeep. I'm here sitting in the car to do my 1 year update, kind of just how I'm feeling, repairs, cost, all the things that have happened. So if you would like to keep up with me and my Jeep, definitely subscribe, hit that subscription button, like and comment, and let's get right into it. Okay, so I purchased my Jeep in August of 2020, so we're actually coming up on 2 years in just a few months, but I definitely wanted to catch you guys up on how I'm feeling because I feel like this was my dream car. I made a video about it. I made a few like follow-up videos, but then kind of left y'all hanging. I have had a few issues with this Jeep, and I'm not even gonna lie, they have been quite costly. So I wanted to kind of talk about what those were, if they're common, and how you guys can get around that if you have a Jeep or if you're planning to buy one. So first, let's start off with the cons, right? So the repairs and the costs that came with those repairs. So February of 2021 was the first time I had an issue with the Jeep. This was right when the snowstorm hit in Texas, and I actually did document this on my channel. I will put that video above if you want to watch it. But essentially my Jeep stopped running. Yeah, my Jeep stopped running. I had no way of getting around in a snowstorm, and all of the like garages and mechanics and dealerships were closed. But basically it ended up being a water pump, and after $800 and 3 weeks of the car sitting, it was resolved. Now, I don't know if this is common with Jeeps or if it just came with age, because again, I just hit 100,000 miles on this Jeep not too long ago. I drive this car very often, and so that could be attributed to it, but that's definitely something that I wasn't prepared to do, was dish out a few $100s to get that fixed. The part alone, I believe, was about $400 or $500, and then they always tax you for labor. But that was something that came as a surprise, because with my last cars, my 2 previous vehicles, I never had issues with anything under the hood. It was just minor stuff like oil changes, tire replacement, stuff like that. But water pump, $800, okay? February 2021. Now we go into when I moved to Austin. I moved to Austin in August of 2021, so the video that you guys saw recently was a little bit delayed. But the second I touched down in Austin, my car check engine light came on. But it wasn't just that it came on, it started flashing, right? Which is definitely a sign that it's something urgent or immediate. And I'm over here thinking like, oh, okay, like I can drive a little bit further, you know what I mean? I wasn't rushing to turn it into the dealer or repair it because I had just dished out a few $1,000s to move, so the last thing I wanted to do was come and fix this car. So I take it into the Jeep dealer, they do a diagnostic, they say that it's the fuel injector and the spark plugs, and they blamed it on the previous dealership in Dallas for not doing something right, and I'm just like, it's giving scam either way. They ended up fixing it. $500 later, it ended up being a few of the, I don't even know. I will put the actual like receipt here, but it ended up being something super minor that they had to repair. And then also I just went ahead and got my spark plugs repaired because I think they were coming up in like 10,000 miles. They needed to be replaced. So that was another thing. Altogether, $1,300 in 2021 alone on minor fixes, but definitely something to be aware of if you have a Jeep and you daily drive it, because you're gonna probably come up on these repairs a lot faster than somebody who just drives it casually. Other things like gas mileage, although this is something to be expected when you drive a Jeep or an SUV in general, I was not prepared for just how bad my gas mileage would be. I get about 16 to 17 miles to the gallon on the freeway, which is atrocious. And then you think about in town, I get about 13 to 14 miles to the gallon. So I make frequent trips to the gas station since I daily drive. Not so much recently, but definitely last year when I was living in Dallas, I feel like I went across town a lot more frequently. Anyway, in Texas, it costs me about $35-ish to fill my tank up, maybe 40, because I think gas is what, like $2.50. When I was in California, it cost me $70? $75, something like that. It was crazy because gas was like $4 a gallon. So just keep in mind, if you're going to daily drive a Jeep, you're going to be paying out of your yin yang in gas, and that's just that. Like, you just have to accept it. These are not fuel efficient, so do not buy this Jeep if you want fuel efficiency. or if you want comfortability, because they're not a comfortable ride. It's not comfortable to drive, okay? It gives very much city bus, you know, like I'm driving the Greyhound. That's what it gives. So comfortability and fuel economy are not, okay, they're not gonna come with the Jeep. Just know that, and just know that. Overall, my thoughts about owning the Jeep Wrangler, I definitely do not regret purchasing the vehicle. I think it was my dream car at the time, and I'm really glad that I was able to check that off my list. And like, it feels good to say that I own it. Like, I love this car so much, but I do think I regret not keeping my second vehicle and requiring this to be my daily driver, because again, gas mileage is really poor, and just overall it drives really rocky. It's not a smooth ride. It is lifted, which isn't hard for me to get in and out of because I'm tall, but for anybody who rides with me, like my mom or my friends, like they really have to try to get in here. And I didn't even think about that when I bought it. They're just little things that you may not always consider when you're buying a vehicle, especially not a Jeep, but definitely something to, you know, always check off the box. Regret not keeping my second car, but do not regret purchasing this one. I have a lot of you guys that reach out to me on Instagram and ask me questions about like where I purchased my Jeep from. I bought my Jeep back in California at a dealership not too far from my hometown, but honestly, there are so many on the market. If you live in Texas or if you just live within the US, any of those sites, TrueCar, Car Gurus, I mean, the list goes on, and you will find cars that kind of fit your parameter. I know one thing for me was I wanted one that was already lifted, already had the suspension lifts, the kits, everything on it, including the tires, because that tends to be the most costly piece. If you think about it, you're shelling out $5,000–$6,000 to customize the Jeep. So I ended up finding one that's already kind of to my liking, which I would definitely encourage you guys to do, unless you're gonna drop 50–60K straight out the dealership. I don't know if it's gonna be most cost efficient to buy one without the lift and do it yourself. So that's just my 2 cents. Do with that as you please, but that's what I found. Would I buy another Jeep? So I don't think I'd buy another Jeep. Being a single like woman that's like a car owner, I don't think I would buy a Jeep, just because a lot of these minor repairs end up being quite costly if you don't know how to repair them yourself or you're not equipped with the tools to repair them yourself. So for that reason, I wouldn't buy this again. But with that being said, since I do own it, I do my best to keep up with maintenance. I do everything that I can within my power. I honestly became my own little mechanic, you know what I mean? Watching YouTube videos and watching TikTok videos, I'm able to do a lot of things myself. But as far as owning this vehicle as somebody who maybe is not so experienced with cars, I would say that, you know, you're kind of dabbling and you may have a lot of expenses with maintenance. Obviously not to the degree of a foreign vehicle like a Mercedes or a BMW, but obviously the Jeeps, they tend to have quite a few issues and recalls, which I actually got a recall on this model not too long ago. So you will likely go in and out of the dealership a lot. So if that's something that you don't want to do, or you don't have the means to do so, I would say maybe rethink getting a Jeep Wrangler. Okay, I said all of those things and I hope I did not scare you guys. I hope I did not scare you away from purchasing a Jeep. If this has always been something that you've wanted or something that you've been saving for, of course, buy what makes you happy, right? Buy the car that's the best fit for you. But I do want to caution people and let you know that you will still have issues with car maintenance. They are quite costly, but they are a ton of fun. They're a great ride. You have a lot of options as far as what you can do with the Jeep, right? Camping, traveling, off-roading. I mean, the list goes on and on. I just want you guys to be 100% sure that this is the vehicle that you want to purchase, right? Not being influenced by myself or anybody else on YouTube, because again, you're going to be putting a lot of your money into something and you want to make sure that it's something that you love. But if the Jeep is for you, it's for you. And I cannot wait to see more of you guys posting your Jeep content here on YouTube. I would love for you guys to comment below if you have a Jeep or if you're planning to get one. I know a lot of you guys comment on my old videos to this day, and I love reading your stories and your journeys as far as Jeep ownership goes. So definitely keep me updated. As I continue to make changes to this Jeep, I will post more videos. Since the last video, the only thing I've changed is my tail lights, and I will link those down below. And if you guys want an in-depth video on how I made that change, I'm more than happy to do so. But with that being said, this video is over. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it as always. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, don't forget. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. First touch, get left in the dust, no room to judge. Lips first touch.